Heroes doesn't have a whole lot of harassment, and the armor reduction isn't really doing that much. Nyx Assassin won't dip down into that negative armor early on. He has really good starting armor, builds from there, and has really good HP regen, so he is usually pretty good versus any sort of damage over time. So Fnatic, I think, are going to have a hard time killing him as long as Mag plays pretty conservatively. I don't really see him dying in this lane, despite the fear that a Venomancer really puts in offlaners. So I think he's going to be fine, and it looks like Fnatic may want to try and gank up middle early on.
I don't know if you saw that, but the drawing on the map right there came out from Trixie. He just asked the massive question, is there a ward? And yes, there is one over inside the cliff. Gale, well, actually connects and always want to fly, and with the Riptide too, they're going to do some real decent damage here. Actually, maybe even enough to get a kill. They're going to keep on the back of him though, one more attack and actually use him. Oh, that really has to get changed. Doombringer will deny, always want to fly off. Obviously, there's no DPS done from the Gale, but it still allows for the denial, even though it's not a dot effect. Boom.
Yeah, that's so rough. So rough. Doom with his heavy attack damage just burst through. Well, they are going to smoke up. I was about to say, I was like, you know, they could put some pressure on middle really, really early on. I like the idea of shutting down the SF and making sure that Puck gets a lead. And that's exactly what they're going to go for.
And Resolution just walked down a little bit too far, which means Fly be able to connect off the Gale, which means they can also fight outside the range of the tower. Now, Riptide again. There's an orb from Puck that's going to fly at the top of Resolution, so this will be first blood for Fnatic. While they were denied it over on the Ancient Apparition. And what were we saying about, like, no pressure being applied from a Naga side in the early stages?
Yeah, I mean, when you combo it up with the Venomancer, it's kind of deadly, but they almost look like, I'm not entirely sure what they're still doing here in this middle lane, because the whole advantage of ganking up the SF early on is just being able to make sure that Puck gets an early damage advantage.
They stuck around because Hani was going down for the regeneration rune in bottom lane. Okay. So he was looking to pick that one up, but I think Hani wants to get his bottle before he goes down for that, because Nyx Assassin's not going to rotate over for it, but they're leaving it there for a very long time.
Yeah, that's a pretty risky play, and Empire do actually have vision of that, so if they want to, they can try and snag it away from Hani. But, yeah, I mean, that the gank, while it was good, it got first blood, all that sort of thing, it's not actually the right timing, usually, for a good SF gank. You really want to go for, like, a level 4, level 5, where he starts building up those souls. Right now, Resolution just came back, missed pretty much no experience, missed pretty much no CS either. You take a look at the CS board, he's still top.
Trixie. This is not a fun lane for him at all. He's lucky Vanscore actually didn't use... Maybe he just leveled it up halfway through it, but he didn't use the Fade Bolt to kill off Trixie on that offlane.
And Trixie's playing a very, very dangerous game right now, relying entirely on his Tango.
Yeah. He realizes that Chilling Touch is down.
Yeah.
And while Chilling Touch is down, the amount of DPS that can go his way is rather minimal. It's like Vanscore. What's Vanscore really going to do to him? Not that much.
Yeah, he does have to be a little bit scared, though, because level 2 is now up on Always Want to Fly, meaning you have that combo of Telekinesis Cold Feet, which does a decent amount of damage, and if you get the freeze off, it's going to do wonders.
Mag's being a bit of a nuisance right now.
Whoop,
top lane. Yep. There we go. There's that Fade Bolt from Vanscore to put him down.
Yeah, he didn't really expect. I'm not sure if he knew, because there's no aura coming out from Silent, but he actually had the Ensnare from the Troll Warlord. So maybe he just didn't know that that was up on him, but you know, you kind of get the idea. If you don't see an aura up on that Doom, you kind of figure he probably did grab a creep early on, and it's got to be that Troll.
Yeah. Well, for now, man, I'm watching Mag on this bottom lane. Era, we still haven't seen him do anything more on this lane, and also to note too that Era isn't going straight in for a Radiance build, which I kind of thought he would consider. With both an A and Rubik on the field, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to have. But they're going to kill off Mag in the bottom lane. No-Tail's coming in. Level 1 Riptide only. Nice by Carapace, but with the Ensnare, TP support's in the way. Mag doesn't have enough life points to survive through this. Vanscore came into. He may have been hoping for a denial. He might be able to pick off Era right now. The tower did attack him pretty hard. Has to wait out a little bit longer for a Spectral Dagger. And now he's going to go in again. So waited it out. They took the aggro off Era so he could pop off the south. No-Tail can't reach up to Vanscore just yet. Even with the dagger, in fact, they're going to TP in the Nyx Assassin. He will just look to set up No-Tail. He's the easier one to kill off right now. There's still Spy Carapace available. Gale flies astray there from Fly. But No-Tail does cut his way through the tree line and will try and get himself out. 2 seconds waiting on that stun after the first initiation. So he wasn't able to catch up to anybody else on Fnatic as they retreated.
You know, it's something I never really thought about Naga Siren before, but she's an incredibly good diving hero. If you have like a squishy support behind that Naga Siren can tank up a lot of tower hits. She starts out with like 5 armor in the beginning of the game. Like, that is unbelievable. At level 3 has 6 armor and 600 health. She's extremely tanky, meaning if you have a really good early laning support like a Venomancer, you can dive towers really, really easily with just the Naga Siren taking up the tower hits, and then Fly being able to output all the damage off of that. So now that they've controlled the bottom lane, they got a gank off in middle. Now they just need to do a little bit of pulling, and I'd pretty much call this laning phase a complete success for them. The only downside is they, again, have nothing to be able to stop this Doom, who is getting a very, very early net worth lead on this Spectre.
Yeah, he's having a great old time, man. He's about to crack his level 6. Surprisingly, I think he's going to devour the Hellbear for a moment just for the gold. But that'll score around with his aura that you talked about before that you picked up from the Centaur. But 2.7k gold over on 2.7k net worth over on this Doombringer. This is going to be a major concern for Fnatic. They've got to come up here at some point and gank him up. Like, they're keeping Resolution down at least, but I say down for Resolution, who's still got 27 for 9 and 22 souls stored up. They haven't really controlled up much, and I'm not seeing the advantage coming out from Era until a little bit later than the timing that would arrive from Team Empire.
Oh, Trixie, you see this? He knew exactly what Resolution was going to be doing about this time, which is trying to farm up stacks.
Yeah. So he comes up and steals most of it with his own Firefly.
This is where the aggression from Trixie can make so many good plays. Like, that is a ballsy play from him.
Trouble right now. Spectre's going to haunt you to try and fight this one. No-Tail's being stunned at the Dream Coil connect onto an Era does come in, try and take on Vanscore, but Resolution, one raise, already got himself a double kill, and now they just gave him chilling touch bonus damage. Honey, he had to face shift that one. He goes down. Nyx Assassin was behind him, and they're looking to pick up Era. They thought they were bringing him more support, but I think they really underestimated that bonus power damage coming out from Team Empire.
Yeah, they can't afford to just let the SF sit in the back and not be targeted like that. I really thought the Spectre was going to try and jump on him because they needed some hero outputting damage on SF early. SF is an extremely powerful hero, about level 7, level 8. Like, stronger than any other hero when it comes to just pure damage output, because you've got 3 different 300 nukes. You can output 900 magical damage in this space of a second and a half. It's just crazy. And then your auto attacks are still really fearsome. You're hitting over 100 damage at level 8. That's insane. So you can't just afford to let that hero just sit on the side of the team fight and throw down some nukes and throw down some auto attacks. You have to aggro onto him first. Treat him like a squishy support hero. He's relatively squishy anyway. Try and pop him first before going anybody else.
No. But that's going to get more and more problematic later on, man. He might be a squishy support hero right now as far as, like, as a reference, but it's going to get worse. And top lane, well, Trixie, Silent, he tried to get in range for the Doom, but Trixie's already up inside the Firefly. They didn't really get that gank up nicely, but on bottom lane, No-Tail wants to go for Mag. Wait, wait, always on a fly? That's in a little bit too deep there, man. He's still in the Firefly and napalmed up.
Yeah, Always Wanna Fly was trying to, like, chase Trixie away. Trixie just turned around and lassoed him. It was really, really simple kill.
Now bottom lane, Mag just Vendetta's up. They throw the sentry ward down behind the tower, so at least they can see Mag, but at the same time, looks like it was in range of the tower's vision. So it gets mobbed up, and Resolution TP'd in rather quickly to that bottom lane to defend him.
Yeah, and Vanscore, Hani actually had a smart play there. He used Dream Coil on Vanscore to make sure that he couldn't teleport bottom. Just to make sure that his allies got out. He knows that the defensive play of saving his allies is more important than any kill he could get later.
No-Tail. He's diving under the tower, but there's chilling touch being given over, and No-Tail's going to be picked up and dropped by the SF. One level 4 raise takes him out. They were not ready to fight that one. And Resolution puts the money into a hand of Midas, so more gold equals more gold.
Yeah, so he's just going to get farther and farther ahead. I mean, he was already, you know, a good 1,000 gold ahead of that Spectre. Now that's going to just continue to build and build as that that Devour plus the extra Midas gold. It's honestly kind of insane how quickly Doom can farm up. But Hani, he also just gave away Dream Coil to the Rubik, and I was expecting Rubik to drop it there. Vanscore realized it isn't needed. He goes for a top.
They may even just follow up with a Centaur Stomp from Silent if they want to commit to it, but nah, Trixie's going to die from just basic attacks from Silent. Team Empire is stretching their advantage even further, man. They're pushing 2,000 gold. They've just pushed over 3,000 experience, 9 minutes in for a 5-6 game.
And this is why I think Era knows that he can't really go for a Radiance build because he's going to be falling behind when it comes to gold. Now, normally in those sort of situations, you say, okay, saving up for Radiance is worth it then, because even if you're behind in net worth, the amount of gold you put into a Radiance is worth so much more than 2 or 3 different small items. However, I think Era really wants to be aggressive.
Dream Coil. Harney's going to go on middle lane, and yep, there's a jump in with the Haunt. So they'll be able to pick up always want to fly, and Era's able to get that kill without leaving the lane.
Perfect. Yeah, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. He wants to be like actually aggressive, be a part of these early team fights because he knows they're kind of suffering when it comes to early game due to the Naga Siren pickup. As a support, not amazing by any means. Song of Siren is really, really good going into mid to late game. You've got this Ensnare, which is good mid game once BKB start coming online. She's much more of a mid to late game support in my mind rather than early game. Regen's going to be found bottom, and Mag is actually looking for a kill right now.
He's going to find one too. No-Tails here. Flies coming down for the rune. They drop down the sentry ward to Ensnare. They catch him out. They didn't really know it. Spy Carapace, so waiting it down as long as they possibly could. But No-Tails been stunned up. They can put him on the cliff. No, drag him back in closer. And then the Mirror Gym is go. They got one up on the hill, but No-Tail, at least he had one miss on the attack. But Empire will take out the Naga Siren. There was still a lot of heroes being committed down to pick off a Naga.
That's true. And all the meanwhile, like, Era's still farming up, has phase boots and drums, but at the same time, so is Silent, who's got phase boot, drums, and the hand of Midas.
Trixie, Dream Coil's going to be used again. Telekinesis, he's trying to wait it out as long as he possibly can, then drag him back. Doom as well. Trixie will die here no matter what. He moves up towards the high ground. They're trying to kill off Fanscore, and returning gets him too with the Firefly. No-Tail has Silent on his tail, and with phase boots, he's just going to trigger off the ulti. This will buy time. They're the TPing in hero, and that's going to be Era, but No-Tail's going to be careful. Level Death is available. It will be used, but there's not enough damage from the Level Death. Gives him a Riptide, and Puck with the Dream Coil, and Era, with his basic Desolate damage too, does the job. Mag was looking for a revenge kill inside of that Vendetta, but never really found the timing.
Yeah, Spectre is a little bit too tanky right now. Another good advantage of grabbing those small items on Spectre early is meaning Nyx Assassin can't solo gank him.
But when they have Resolution behind it, Nyx Assassin, first stun, and then 1 raise, 2 raises, and then 3 more attacks. And Era, well actually no, he jumps out to the middle lane to always want to fly, who ends up getting the solo experience in the middle lane for getting the kill.
He's like, hey, sweet, thanks guys. I now have level 7. I've got Ice Blast online, and I can start building into that faster Aghanims thanks to that rotation. It was just... it sucks to make those kind of calls as a Spectre because it's your only hope of living, but at the same time, it's also really risky. If you throw away that, we now have that ultimate on cooldown for another 90 seconds. That was supposed to be a part of some of these ganks coming out from the Puck. We now have that Blink Dagger online. Like, Puck is a really, really good setup for the Spectre to be able to activate that ultimate and get in a little extra gold, but now it's not going to be there. So, completely wasted ultimate from Era.
A Team Empire. I love the way they're still approaching this, man. Like, we're 12 minutes in, they just push Silent back inside the jungle. Just keep letting him farm up. Resolution. He's the man right in the hand of Midas, and there's really no massive items to show for him. But the DPS is still, it's still insane. That's the beauty about SF. So early on, you get such high nuking power. But he's still going to be very, very careful. Without those items, he's very susceptible to the double Blink Dagger, which is now arriving for Fnatic.